should you pull on the King Halo and Saiyan Sky support card banner. Starting off with King Halo, this is an SSR power card with a focus on both training as well as skills. In terms of the training effects of this card, they are very strong with a solid amount of specialty priority as well as friendship bonus, and in terms of skills, has hint levels at level 3 as well as hint frequency at 50%. Now, this card sounds amazing so far, but when we take a look at the skills, there is definitely a lot to be desired, including the gold skill of this card, Blinding Flash, which is fairly weak and not super consistent in the first place. So this kind of renders the high hint levels and hint frequency fairly useless. So what you're left with is a very good training card. However, if it's specifically for training, there are going to be better alternatives. In my opinion, this card definitely is not worth pulling for. Next is the Saiyan Sky SSR Wit card, which is also going to be a hybrid of training as well as skills, although lower on both. However, what does make this card unique is that it has a very high speed bonus for a Wit card. So you can use it in builds like a debuffer build where you don't necessarily need a ton of speed, you just want enough to get through the scenario while having a high amount of wit. And when we look at the skills, it's definitely conducive to that strategy with 4 debuffs and then a skill like Tail Held High if you're running a hybrid debuffer racing Uma, but the gold skill Vanguard Spirit is just not too great of a skill, so there is a little bit of a trade-off. Overall, I do think this card can be useful for specific builds, however, don't necessarily think it's worth pulling for even if you plan to run those builds, as it would be a heavy investment and you can always just borrow this card when you need it.